Hello, my name is Rob Reynolds. This is College Algebra Section 4.2. Today we're going to be looking at how to enter data into a calculator and finding the line of best fit. And so what's happening is I'm going to show you how to do stat plot on your calculator. And what's happening is we have a bunch of points and we're trying to find the line that best fits the data. And sometimes the data fits uh, nicer than other data. This line doesn't fit real well because the data is kind of spread out. And I'll show you how to find the correlation factor for that as well. Under our list one, this is a long list, so I'm not going to use this as an example because it takes too long to type into the calculator, but we basically are looking for a scatter plot. The book's going to say pick 2 points. So after you pick 2 points, it says do it by hand. I wouldn't recommend doing this by hand because you could be off quite a bit. If this one's not bad, the line of best fit looks like this. But if you were to pick 2 points, if you pick these 2 points and say that that's the line of best fit, I kind of disagree with you. That's really not. So you might think, well, let's pick the first point and the last point, and that's not always the line of best fit either. It's kind of hard to see in this example, but I would not recommend just picking 2 points. So if the line of best fit is increasing, then we have positive slope. If the line of best fit is decreasing, then we have negative slope. Make sure that after you do a scatter plot, this is not linear. This would be a quadratic regression, which I believe is the next lesson. This would be, if you know your Simon Says game, this little more looks more like cubic. And this one looks more exponential. So there are different types of regressions, and we want to make sure that for this lesson, we're graphing them and we're looking for linear. So yep, this one's linear, and this one is non-linear. That looks quadratic to me. This one is non-linear. And this one, well, although I could get the line of best fit, again, I just don't think that's linear. So I would say not linear either. So back to this, it says select 2 points. Again, I've shared with you the danger of that. I wouldn't recommend just picking 2 points. Looks like try to pick if you do the 2-point method, try to pick 2 points that will represent. So some of the dots are above and some of the dots are below. Just to make sure that this is a good representation of the line if you do the 2 points. But I would recommend using a graphing calculator. And again, this is way too many points. So I'm going to show you how to do this and find the correlation factor. The closer this number is to 1, the better this actually fits. So we're going to do linear regression. I'm going to show you how to find that on your calculator. And then we can make some predictions. We'll go to the line and make some predictions about the future if this trend continues. For those people that have a TI-89, I'm going to be using the 83-84 model. If you have an 89, this is the procedure that you want to be using right here. I don't have a TI-89, but I know a lot of you have the titanium. And so I've written out different procedures for you to use. So if you have questions on that, you can email me. There's also some web pages that you can look for. This will explain, it's a good web page that will explain it as well. So to give you an example, again, this is just talking about whether things are linear or not. Yes, no, this is not linear. This looks pretty linear. No, well, you could. Yeah, that looks, I don't know, it kind of looks more cubic to me. So I don't know if that's linear or not, although you could find the regression line that best fits that. But let's actually get to a problem where I could show you how to do this. So I'll pick number 9. I'm going to go to Stat and Enter. If there's anything already under my list ones, I'm going to go under my list 1 and hit Clear. And I'll clear out the list 2 while I'm here too. Don't delete your list 1s and list 2s. It's hard to get those back. So I'm going to type in my X's under my list 1s. So it goes up to 9. Hard for me to do this, but I think I've done that correctly. And what's that? 4, 6, 7, 10. so here we go. So 4, 6, 7, 10. 12, 14, 16. All right, so here's the key. We're going to hit stat, arrow right to calculate, and later on we're going to be doing quadratic regression, but for now we're going to be doing linear regression. So I'm just going to hit the 4. Oops, looks like I had some other stuff in there, so I'm going to clear that out. I'll clear all. Try to get stat, calc 4, linear regression, and there's my solution. Now I want to show you how to turn on your plotter and actually look at the scatter plot. So go to your y equals, and let's clear out any functions that you may have in there. Highlight your plot 1, that'll turn on your plotter. Come back down and hit zoom 9. So there's just the data points that I plotted. Let's go back to stat, calc 4, but instead of hitting enter this time, hit vars, slide over to y vars, function y sub 1, and what this is going to do is take the linear regression and then dump it under y sub 1. So it looks like it does the exact same thing. I had the exact same answer before, but if you go under your y equals, you can see it's actually dumped that function and it hasn't rounded anything. So if you hit zoom 9, which is your graphing statistics, not only will it have the points from your stat plot, but it will also graph the line that best represents. So there's several parts to this, draw the scatter plot, but the main thing is we probably want to make some predictions. So to make a prediction, let's make a prediction of 5.5. So instead of scrolling along here, we can't get exactly on 5.5 because I'm on the points of the plot, the list 1 and list 2. So hit your down arrow button, and that way at the top you can see I'm no longer on the points. Now I'm actually on the line. And so now all I have to do is hit the trace button, and I can trace, what did we say, 5.5? So I'll go back, trace, arrow down, 5.5, and there's a point that's not in my data, but if 5.5 was on my data, then I could predict around 8.8. If you want to make predictions in the future, you might have to go under your window and change your X max to something a little bit greater. Perhaps 20. I'll hit trace. So looking off into the future, that just gave me some more X values. Again, arrow down, and I'll make a prediction at 15. Of course, that's off my viewing screen, but if I go over 15 to the right, I'll be up 28 units. If you want to see that, you'll have to go under your Y max. I'll change that to 30. So again, you can see, I'll hit trace. You can see the line in the future. I'll hit arrow down again to get off the points and onto the line, and I was making a prediction about 15. Let's try to get 15. There it is. Well, that point is almost off the function too, but you can see it made it. So if I were to go for, so if I were to go for 12, maybe that would be a little bit more. So the point 12, I can make a prediction. After 12, if x is 12, then y would be, best guess, 22.07. So I hope that's helpful for you. Finding the line of best fit. I don't see any reason to go through and do this again because it's all the same. List 1 and list 2, you can just rewind the video. But does the relation represent a linear function? And so that's the first thing you want to do. Draw a scatter plot, that's zoom 9. Use the graphing utility to find the line of best fit. That's stat calc 4. Interpret the slope is just talking about what that represents, change in y over change in x. And then I think the main goal here is making predictions, which this problem doesn't really even ask you for. So it's a short lesson. There are some solutions if you would like to practice this problem. You can put this under list 1 and list 2 and make sure that you get this function. Oh, I was going to show you the correlation factor, how to set that on your calculator. This is a one-time deal. You only need to do this once. But if you would like the correlation factor, if I hit stat calc 4 enter, I don't get my R's. What happened? So let's clear that out. So stat calc 4, enter. So notice the R's don't appear in this calculator, so hit second catalog and scroll on down to diagnostic on. You can just hit your alpha keys, but I'm almost there, so I'll just keep. So slow. But we're going to turn on our diagnostic. So we'll get, there it is, diagnostic off. Go to diagnostic on. Press enter. That says diagnostic off. I want diagnostic on. You're kidding. So, second catalog. So let's see, how do I hit these? Alpha D. I never do this, but everyone says that this is easiest. There it is. So diagnostic on. Gotta be kidding me. There it is. Diagnostic on. Press enter. So this time when I hit stat calc 4, you could dump that under your y equals. That's not really the point right now. I get my R values. And again, the closer that it gets to a 1, the better the line fits. And around 0.5, it's looking pretty scattered. This obviously would be a negative correlation factor. So see how the R is negative. That just tells you that the function is decreasing. So there's a couple problems that you can practice. I hope you found that helpful. Email me with your questions. Thanks.